Oh my god, chap. This I just want to give a big shout out to Retro Lad Chris, the homie, real quick. April, I'm gonna mark as the return of AquaTwist. I'd say like the Pacopia stream counted, but like this is insane. So I've been like doing an online course for a while. That's wrapping up, and now I'll get like a pay raise and everything. I'll have more time to like do things. And so with that, alongside that happening, the Mario Galaxy movie came out, and so I loved it. And then a lot of the internet is just like, oh, there's a lot of like different opinions, and I was surprised about that. And then Retrolad was like, oh, why don't you do a debate, originally with a different person who couldn't make it today, unfortunately. But it was like, you know what? That's a great idea. So we've gathered a bunch of amazing people. Some of you you've seen on the
Your
channel.
stream
Some of
doesn't
you,
show me. Sorry.
your webcam isn't showing, D-Man.
Ow. Okay, hang on.
I don't know. Anyway, so
Oh my gosh, Matthew S'more has been a member for 9 months. Thank you so much.
yes, it doesn't really make a difference, but you know what? It's thank you so much, Matthew. Um, but yeah. So, anyways, we're gonna be doing a spoiler cast slash little debate. I haven't done this before, so bear
Can you
with
guys
me.
see me?
Nope.
How?
I can see
Camera's on.
you, but I think on the actual video itself, we can't see your.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh
You can see
shit.
me here, but not on the stream.
Oh.
Oh.
Why did I?
Is that your end? What'd you do?
It wouldn't be
I
a
am
stream.
so sorry,
It wouldn't be a
dude.
stream without technical difficulties.
Yeah,
It's all
technical
good.
Yep.
difficulties.
Sorry. No, I don't know why it was on
Wow.
disabled. But I'm
Wow.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
It's not nice. It's not even. That's
You have
just
been
bad.
you have been
Wow.
silenced. Right now.
Oh
Jackals will
god.
drink now at
I
2
am.
a.m.
Oh Jesus. So sorry, D-man. Gentlemen, nice and clean. Woohoo. Welcome Kenna, Rachel, Blue Speed, and Retro Lad. All right. So we're a bit of a time crunch today. So on the side of the movie, because again, there's a lot of controversial opinions. I've purposely tried to avoid reviews because I wanted to like go in and have my own thoughts without them being like affected by other people's thoughts. The side, we got my buddy D-Man Gaming, and Nintendo Memories, who you've seen on the channel before. And for the against side, we got Chris Forth, and Matthew Smart. So the way this is going to go is we're going to basically have a little timer. So the for and against side will basically have the chance to discuss like a few topics from the movie, mainly talk about like the new characters, like how accurate is it to like the game and stuff like that, any representation, um, music and stuff like that, and teases for the future. And so maybe what we could probably do is bear with me if like we change things over time, where it's like each side will have a chance to like talk about it, and then maybe we can basically discuss. So yeah. All right. So let me pull up the outline real quick. Okay, she just where is it? I'm on the group chat.
I just want to say while we're waiting, thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, anytime. This is awesome. Okay.
Time to dunk on the consumers today.
So why don't we get started real quick? So story. Basically just like this is the chance to talk about like how is like the plot of the movie like overall. Like it doesn't have to be in terms of like representation of the galaxy, but like as a movie on its own. Like what does everyone think of the plot? Why don't I get started? Set a timer. The side. What do you guys think?
Go, Josh.
D-Man, you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Yeah, you can go, John.
All right. So overall, when it comes to the plot of this film, I equate this as basically like a cinema roller coaster. There's a lot happening in that 90-minute runtime, and as a result, I kind of like cinema roller coasters where you're just going super fast, and the fact that it's set in the galaxy setting, I think it's a perfect setting for that. As far as the story overall, it kind of, because it's going so fast, it equates in basically kind of a simpler story, and it's kind of basically similar to that of the last film, right? You had Luigi getting kidnapped, and Mario had to go and save Luigi. And this time it's Rosalina who's getting kidnapped, and then it's Peach and everybody having to go save her. I wasn't really expecting like a huge lore dump in terms of like this grand over deep story. I wasn't really expecting that because it's a Mario movie. It's in the Mario universe. The Mario games never really had these big lore dumps unless you play the Mario RPG games. The Mario, and so I really wasn't really expecting that much with the film. But one of the things I really loved about this story, though, as brief as it's kind of contained as it is. I love that it's really focused on family, right? You see Mario and Luigi going on this journey together. You see Bowser and Bowser Jr., their relationship and their bond. And then as brief as it is, in whenever you see Peach finding out who she is in relation to Rosalina, it only amplifies her want to get to her even more. And so I love the emphasis on family, and I love the emphasis on just togetherness. And so that's one of the as a small, it's a very small self-contained story in the midst of a big cinema roller coaster. And so as a result, I really loved it.
Nice. Yeah, sorry about that. Apparently the audio was a bit low. Chat, let me know how the audio is of everyone else. I raised it up a little bit. Of at least the desktop audio. Cool.
So I'd have to agree for the most part with a lot of what he said, but I will say I do wish it was a little bit longer. I kind of just took it like it is, but I can understand criticism. Um, but I will say I do wish it was a little bit longer, and I like it about the same as the first movie, probably. And I do think that story wise, they definitely changed some stuff. I'm not going to say for better or for worse. Some of the stuff I do like what they did, and there's some things there that I'm like, I kind of wish the movie was a little bit longer and they would have made some changes. Um, but I just kind of, even after seeing it twice, I just enjoy it for what it is. I think I just enjoy maybe it's just me, but I just enjoy watching Mario on screen. These Mario characters on screen, even if the story is a little lackluster or not as good as certain elements that maybe I was hoping for. I just kind of had fun with the ride. Um, so I'm just gonna leave this specific topic at that, and go from there with each topic we go through.
Cool. So if everyone is okay with this, we still have about a minute, so I wanted to like share my own thoughts real quick. I figured that like going in, I knew it was not gonna follow the game. I feel like I've heard a lot of people not really be a fan of that. I know it's like okay, it's gonna be a Mario Galaxy movie, but it's gonna use it more as a set piece because the name Mario Galaxy, right? It could mean anything. And I thought that like I watched the movie twice. Like I felt like the second time definitely the story was very rushed. There weren't a lot of things that were explained, but at the same time, I felt like everything flowed together. I was worried that like with the trailers, it seemed like okay, how are they going to be able to like fit all these different components and new characters within the movie? And I felt like they were still able to like do that because like everything lined up together and made sense. You see the progression of like okay, Mario and Luigi have to go like save Peach, who's like trying to find Rosalina, and you get like you learn bits and pieces of like everything. I feel like it really isn't until the very very end where it's like okay, like I wish it was longer too because it's like what happened about this, what happened about that, right? And we'll get more into that later in discussion, but it's like overall the story like works what it is and it's okay. It's not like a one for one because if Peach got captured again, it's like boring. So with that said, the timer is up. So let's head it over to the against side. I will be starting a new timer. Chris and Matthew, you have about 5 minutes to explain what you think of the story. Go.
Do you want to go first, Chris?
You can go first, man. It's all good.
Okay, so here's the thing about the story. You're implying this movie has a story in the first place, right? because here's the thing about this movie. The reason why I was a bit more forgiving towards the first movie was because it wasn't trying to have much grander stakes at play. It was mostly just, a simple reference fest with just a simple structure to guide characters along, and I think that's fine. With Galaxy, not only does it have like the highest stakes of any of the Mario games, but on top of that, you don't even bother to try and okay, even if it's not faithful to the original games, I would not care as much if the story actually flowed properly and was interesting, but it follows so many different plot threads and goes so all over the place that nothing actually has a focus to it. Like freaking, you know, I mean, the first scene with Rosalina was interesting enough, but then freaking she just stays kidnapped for the rest of the movie and has absolutely nothing to do. The Bowser and Bowser Jr. stuff I thought was interesting. It was probably what I think was the best part of the movie, all things
Hmm.
considered. Just because they actually had character dynamics that you could see the bond, which I thought was pretty nice. But then, Bowser's motivations are really shallow because he starts to become sort of a good guy, and then all of a sudden, like, all that development is just snapped out of existence after, like, Bowser Jr. does his convincing, and, he sees all the army come back. And then beyond that, it's just, action set piece after action set piece with, like, no room to breathe, which I'm stunned Miyamoto thought was a good thing. Because, like, I mean, people say, like, why are you expecting more story out of a Mario movie based off of a mainline game? One, because Galaxy has, the most, like, background and the most intrigue out of any of the mainline 3D Mario games. And two, because it's a movie, you can't get away with the gameplay making up for it. I actually need a structure and something interesting to latch onto in order for me to be invested. Without that, it makes me think that what Martin Scorsese said about Marvel movies just being freaking roller coaster rides feel true. That's what I
Mm,
think.
nice.
Yeah, so I personally think the story for me was like it was just rushed. The moment we got to like see some parts of Galaxy, I just felt like it just got so rushed. Like it goes from like Rosalina, like again, she's at night, she's putting the babies to sleep and everything. Then the attack kind of happens. Then from the attack, after the attack, she's been captured, and then it goes right back to like Mario and Luigi just kind of like doing what the usual things that they do with Princess Peach, and then almost from that, I didn't like the pacing of it. I felt that by the time they got to like, I think by the time it split up with like Mario and Peach, it was like already, oh, we're meeting Star Fox. Okay, I knew Star Fox was gonna be in it, but it just kind of felt like I thought it was gonna be a bit later on. I felt like this film
Mm,
could have had at least like an extra half an hour because when I think of
yeah.
Mario Galaxy, I think of that Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. There's so many like different places to go. So I'm thinking if you expand on that, have an extra half an hour to be like, okay, what are we gonna do in these particular moments to fill up the gaps for the extra half an hour? I would be like, okay, this is cool because now we're actually seeing the expansion of the game. Whereas we only saw like one or two parts, I think, of like Galaxy. I felt like it was just like, okay, we're seeing this, but then we have to get Rosalina, so we have to focus on getting Rosalina, so we don't really get a chance to like expand on like anything else. So um, I do feel like I'd like seeing everybody the cameos. Surprisingly, there was less talking in this one. I felt so. I felt like okay, this kind of does help the story go a little bit quicker. But there was still some good moments, despite me not liking the pacing of the film.
Cool. But yeah, all right. Let me just pull up the next topic real quick.
Yeah.
Ba-bum.
Yeah, but like the pacing just being so freaking snappy like that, I just think makes it so like there's next to no cohesion, uh, like at all.
Okay.
Still gonna raise $1 billion.
By the way, the timer is pulled up. I forget what happens, and I haven't watched the debate in a while, so I forget what happens normally. Um, but yeah, so with that said, next up, I know we briefly mentioned like Rosalina. The chat is saying, I guess we could do that like in between each segment if there's like a chat. We could like read that real
Mhm.
quick. Where's the Donkey Kong movie? Oh my god. So that's
I
enough.
hope it happens. That'd be
So I
cool.
know this is on the list, but like that is one thing because like I've heard like apparently it's like oh like what if there's a Luigi's Mansion movie? I heard something about that or like the Donkey Kong movie like getting like
I gotta wonder where they're gonna go
rumored.
with Mario 3 now because Rosalina's a part of this universe now, and
Mm,
they're not gonna do another Galaxy like a movie called Galaxy again. Probably the next one will be called something else because Daisy's going to be involved. Oh,
Yeah, I have
They
ideas
could do
about that.
Sunshine, but Sunshine was
so
kind of like before that. So
Ooh.
yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
so
But like,
that makes me think Wario and Waluigi are probably going to be in the next movie more than most definitely at this point. The
oh
third by
yeah.
the third movie, yeah, definitely. Probably as like the villains or whatever.
Mhm.
But you got to think like if Rosalina is in there and all this stuff, it's I feel like 2 hours just makes sense at least for the third movie if you're
Absolutely.
gonna because it's their own universe. So like it's like the next movie is gonna be like a mix of Galaxy along with classic Mario Brothers and stuff. So I don't know what like all they're gonna do
Mhm.
because I'm like, well, of course we want to see more of Rosalina. We do. So we want her involved
Yeah.
in the next movie in some way, but you got to make her make sense to the story. But it's Peach's sister, so she's gonna be involved in some kind of way, I imagine. But I'm not expecting a big part from Rosalina again, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that just that's just what I'm thinking about when it comes to what
Mhm.
could come.
I think that's just another thing because it's just like friggin' they should not have made the Galaxy movie like the second one. It should have just been
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
it should have just
yeah,
been
I
like
agree.
I love Galaxy games,
Oh,
don't get
me
me
too.
wrong, but the fact that we were just jumping from like 0 to 100 that freaking quickly instead of just doing the Mario World movie like they should have with
Yeah.
Yoshi
It's
and
crazy.
just it just it just was cramming way too much into like, a sequel to a movie that was just so blatantly simple and
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
fails from ambition.
that's the thing. Once Yoshi got announced, it was kind of like, okay, but we're not gonna be expanding on Mario. We're not gonna be expanding on Yoshi in the Mario world because
well,
like now we're going on Galaxy. We're going straight to the out in space. And I'm thinking
Mhm.
like it does
even a
take a
lot of
little bit of
people
time.
even a lot of people said that Galaxy like it felt too soon to
Yep.
do as the second movie
Well, here's
because
the
people were
thing.
like, well, what about like Mario Bros. 3 or Mario Sunshine, that kind of stuff in there, which there are references to both.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
again, I mean, Galaxy is massive, and to do that, which they did some very, very cool stuff, like
Oh yeah.
Star Fox. No, no one was expecting that, man, until
Crazy.
they spoil it. They spoiled
Yeah, they kind of spoiled that.
Nintendo.
I think they should have
Yeah,
kept that a secret. To be fair,
they should
honestly,
have.
like,
So
I liked
here's
Star Fox in it, but I just
so
felt
here's what
like
I was hearing in regards to Star Fox. This is what I was hearing, and what I was reading. I don't know if this is true, but apparently the reason why Nintendo revealed it like they did is because I think they had like an early press screening, and somebody
Oh.
from the press screening like leaked it, and so like to stay on top of it,
That's insane.
they went ahead and revealed it themselves, so that so that because that was because Fox has a big role in it,
Mhm.
which we'll probably get into later on. But Fox
Yeah.
is much bigger than a cameo, and I'm
Right.
sure Nintendo wouldn't want that spoiled or leaked by just some crazy like I don't know, just some horrible quality screenshot or
Oh
something
my
like that.
god. Yeah, I mean, so we have a lot of great points, and I have a lot of ideas cooking for like the next part. The last thing I'll say, because like this wasn't really on the list or anything, but it's like I was listening to Kit and Krista today, and they were talking about this like Forbes article. I'll probably like put it in the chat actually. They said there was like a behind the scenes about the like making of the movie, and apparently Chris Meledandri, like the director of like the movie and like illumination stuff like that, he was apparently saying that like he had the idea of Galaxy to like make it like a movie worth seeing in cinema, which was interesting, especially like we're in the late 2020s now, like streaming's popping off, but also like people still want to go see movies. Like I know like some of us and like Retro Lad, for example, they're like big diehard fans of like going to movies, like actually having great experiences. So I guess like before we go to Rosalina, I guess like a question for everyone is just like, was this movie like just could it be like a visual, audio, whatever? Like, was this movie worth seeing in theaters, or was it better off just
Yes.
like seeing it at home? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a
Yes.
direct to DVD sequel.
Oh,
I mean, I'm a bit of both. I can see a bit of both really. I think.
To
Okay.
me, just seeing like that, because I mean, I know that there's not, Galaxy is much more of a set piece for this film, but there are some moments from the games that are in this film. Like, for
Yep.
example, and seeing it in cinema just really gave me chills. Like the moment when the UFO comes over and
Oh,
gets
yep.
Peach's castle, and that iconic like that score because that exact same score that plays in the games plays in the movie
The
as
entire
well. And when the
sequence of Star Fox with the music, his music from his games
Oh.
playing in the movie theater, is
Brought me
one of my
back to my
favorite
childhood.
parts.
I
I'm not
never
gonna
thought we would
Yeah.
ever see
yeah.
that, and
Yeah.
it just and that it was built for the cinema. I'm telling you. And so
Nintendo,
yeah,
I need a new Star Fox game, please. Come
Oh.
I
on.
mean,
Star Fox game
okay.
and Star Fox movie.
I mean, I will say, like, for as unnecessary as the Star Fox stuff was, I gotta admit, since it was there, I don't know. I thought the interpretation of the character was pretty fun. I like, I don't know. He got me the most laughs out of the movie, out of any of the characters. I think Glenn Powell did a good job
Oh,
voicing
yeah.
him,
Yeah.
and there was enough energy in the performance that I was captivated by it enough.
Hmm. Cool. Okay. This is going great already. All right. So I know like Kenna and Kelsey already kind of alluded to this, but let's talk about Rosalina. So Rosalina is like my favorite Mario character of all time. I personally feel like I can see both sides where it's like they kind of shafted her a little bit, but at the same time, like when she was there and when she was in her element, they were, oh my god, it was insane. But I don't want to take the throne too much. So let me start the timer. Demon and
Where was
Josh,
Mr.
Yeah.
Beast?
let's get started.
I- so I gotta say, anytime she was on screen, beginning and end, was so impressive. Like, it's weird because like her sequence in the beginning was so gosh darn good that it was like I wanted more of that. I wanted the ending for her to be escaped from the prison earlier to where she could have done something, which is a little bit disappointing, honestly, because even after she's out of the prison, like it's just cool seeing her on screen. Yeah, let's get the Lumas. We're gonna get our hammers and help rebuild the castle. It's just cool. So it's like rethinking that. It's very disappointing that Rosalina just didn't get
Mhm.
much because she's such a great character, and the story that she told for Peach and Mario's story was really cool. I was expecting to hear her story, and when she started reading it, I'm like, oh, this is different. Okay. And that's cool. But at the same time, I wish that by the end of the movie, she could have told a little bit more of. Well, actually, she couldn't tell much more of her story because we learned that in the movie that the lore was different because she's Peach's sister. So we kind of learned a little bit of that. But I do wish that she would have read to the Lumas maybe in the end as well, just as another nod to the games, reading a different story than the one she was telling about Peach at the beginning. So there are some things with Rosalina that are a little bit disappointing because I really so badly wanted to see more of
Mhm.
that. And I do think the movie should have been a bit longer, but it's gonna make $1 billion anyway, and it's still a fun movie. It's just I do wish that I would have gotten more out of it with Rosalina. So like she could have had more.
Mhm.
She could have had another action sequence towards the end, and it would have been really awesome. But I get it. They don't want to outshine Mario and Luigi. Totally get it. Makes sense. They're the main ones. But even Peach had a lot of action sequences. Rosalina only had one. So I'm like, do they make up for that in the next one? Probably not, because we're getting Daisy. So she's probably gonna have a small role again. Hate to say
We'll
it,
see.
but I probably.
I will say, for what, and you kind of took the words out of my mouth, D-Man. Rosalina really was my only real criticism with this film. Every single moment she was on screen, loved her, especially that action sequence at the very start of the movie. I think Brie Larson was the perfect casting
Okay.
choice, for her. However, I will say, I think she still could have a big prominent role in the next movie, and the reason why I say that is because in the brief flashback we saw of Peach and Rosalina, we find out that they're sisters. Rosalina makes it a point to say there were dark forces that wanted their power for themselves, and we don't know what those dark forces are. There's a lot of people who are already theorizing about that. I think they may pull from the lore of the Mario RPG games, where they were the Dark Power Star that used to sleep underneath the grounds of Peach's castle in the Mushroom Kingdom. If that thing comes back, and because Peach nearly dies in the game that's featured in, and so the fact that if this thing comes back and we see the Dark Power Star, come and try to, cast its shadows over the Mushroom Kingdom. The only one I think who'd be able to match that power is Rosalina. So the fact that, so I think she very well could have a role in the third movie if they choose to go that route. So yeah, I think, and plus, I don't think they can just cast her aside now that we know that that she's Peach's sister. I'm sure she will be in the third movie in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, from what we saw of her, I enjoyed it. And I wanted more of her. I really did. And
I
plus,
wa-
I've seen, and I will also add that Rosalina didn't have to get captured. They could have used the power of a grand star, which was the
Mm.
main. That's what they should have done.
Yeah.
Um, and but anyway, that's besides me. But but overall, everything I saw of Rosalina was great. Wanted more of her, and that's really, really and truly, that was really my biggest criticism of the film.
I want to
Okay.
say one more thing real quick. Daisy is not. Why is she where she is? Is the question. Why is
We
she in
don't
the
know yet.
place with all the ships?
Yeah, I don't
Exactly. How'd
understand
she
that.
get there? How'd
We'll
she get
find
there?
out next time.
That's
Why did
why
a
I
lot of
wondered.
things happen in the
She's not.
movie?
In
She's
3
not.
years.
Yeah, she's not at
Yeah.
home where she's supposed to be. So that's an
Mm.
interesting thing to think about. How she got where she is. Why is she where she is in the next movie? They'll either explain that a little bit in the lore of who Daisy is in this universe, or we'll have plot holes.
Yep. All right. So why don't we hand it over to the against side? I know that full disclaimer that there might be some overlap. If it gets too much, chat, let us know, and then we could still have the timers and stuff like that, and then we could turn this more into a general discussion if that works out better. But for now, Chris, Matthew, starting the timer right now, and go.
I went first last time, so it's your turn now.
Yeah, cool. I think for Rosalina, I didn't really. I think yeah, she was just stuck in. She was just trapped for most of the movie, so I felt like it was just like okay, she had that cool moment at the start. I thought, all right, cool. So let's see how this goes, and then she gets captured, and then she's stuck throughout most of the thing. And it's not even like. And the thing is, she wasn't really. She was pretty much unconscious. Like at least if she was somewhat conscious. Like someone could have had some dialogue with her, like Bowser Jr. or something, or maybe even Bowser himself, or just have a little talks with her here and there. But I understand they're like draining her powers, isn't it? But at the same time, they could have literally done that at the end with the big battle. I think because then that way it makes it a bit more active. Because then everybody gets to the place like, oh look, Rosalina, and then everybody's like, oh wait, Bowser Jr. comes in and is like. No, you're not gonna get her today, and then next thing you know, turns on the button, just starts training her powerful. Okay, that would be a lot better than in the moment they're trying to save her in that particular moment because they didn't necessarily need to do that like straight away. I would have loved to have just seen her talk a bit more and just have those moments and stuff. I did like the switch up with like Peach and her being sisters. So I thought, okay, that was a little nice little change. That was cool. I didn't mind that, despite I know like the original lore and stuff, but that was still cool. But yeah, Brie Larson, I definitely think that she did a really good job. I know some people were skeptical because of like Marvel and stuff like that, but I said if you take your mind away from those movies, I'm sure she can do a good voice. She's a good actor, and she can. I'm sure she can give us a good voice role. So I felt like, yeah, she definitely did the thing. Rosalina, I hope in the next movie. Well, I hope in the next movie, if Daisy's gonna be in the next one, Rosalina, Peach, they have a little girls moment or something like that.
Cool. All right, Matthew.
Okay. All right. Okay. So first off, Bray Larson. Man, I can't believe Nintendo went woke. No. No. I can't believe women. Okay, but no. But no. I thought Bray Larson was fine in the role. I thought most of the characters were like fine in their roles in terms of like voice acting and everything. Plus, Bray Larson has always been like a pretty big Nintendo fan, and it just felt like a dream come true for her, and it didn't really feel forced. But yeah, like I pretty much agree with like all the criticisms. Like the opening scene with the Lumas, I thought was fine, even if the dialogue from the Lumas was like a little bit cliche, but like whatever. Yeah, just like I thought Rosalina was fine at the beginning, and then you're acting like all of her like on-screen stuff was like great. The first 5 minutes was basically all she had, and then she's
So
just stuck in like the danger chamber and just freaking is just loses her conscience more and more. She has absolutely nothing to do, and
one more thing.
Well,
One more thing.
I'm still talking with the debate. I'm still talking. Okay. All right. You've had your piece. It's mine now.
Oh,
Lumas.
I
shit.
am the owner of the
The
stream.
Lumas.
Okay.
The Lumas didn't help at all.
It
Yeah.
was, well, yeah, because they're children. What are they gonna do? But like friggin' no, it's just like yeah, she's given basically nothing, and considering that she's basically the face of Galaxy to the point where she basically became a standard character to be in every single Mario spin-off moving forward, even being included in Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition. The fact that she is given absolutely nothing at this point, I feel just really devalues her as a character. I don't mind Peach taking the spotlight, but like at that point, why even include Rosalina at all? And the fact that they completely retconned her incredibly tragic backstory.
Couldn't they have
Listen,
flipped
I'll
it?
go over time if I want to, okay?
Couldn't they
This is
flip it?
my stream. This is my stream, dang it. But like freaking the fact that she has such a tragic backstory, which going back to like replay a bit of Galaxy and read the storybook for my Galaxy video on my side channel, I felt more emotion from that than the entire time I did watching the movie. But the fact that they retconned that and gave her a new story that's just worse in every way, because there's no reason why her and Peach, like, logically should be sisters other than to feed off of Matt Pat fans. But, like, yeah, it's nonsensical, and just the way that they send Peach off is just so cliche, and she didn't even think once to look for her that entire time. I can't stand what they did with Rosalina in the movie. Like, and she's my favorite of the Mario princesses. My goat washed.
Thumbs up.
Here's one quick thing.
Fine.
What if they would have? And this actually would make sense because apparently they have the same power. Why? How come they couldn't have kidnapped? How come he couldn't have just kidnapped Peach and made Rosalina be the one with the Mario Bros to save Peach instead? To give Rosalina the big role because it's a Galaxy movie. Why couldn't they have just kidnapped Peach instead?
If she's apparently a star child, that could end up working out, but
I mean, yeah, I get it. The Luma had to go find Peach or whatever, so I guess that's part of how the plot worked. But there could have been a way to figure that out still, where the Mario Brothers found Rosalina and the Lumas if Peach got captured.
I also don't think they retconned Rosalina's tragic backstory because we see Rosalina has a vast library of a lot of storybooks, and it very well could be that the storybook that she was reading the Lumas in the film was not the same storybook that she's reading to the Lumas in the games. And one of the things that I think is really interesting is you find out in the films, oh wow, Rosalina and Peter are sisters. And Rosalina didn't. I guess this helps. I don't know. Rosalina's lack of screen time. I guess this serves to her benefit a little bit. I'm not excusing them, but it does help a little bit because there might have been a lot of new people who came out of that theater was like, oh wow, Rosalina was a very mysterious character. Oh, I want to learn more about that. I want to learn more about her. Where can I do that? Oh, the Super Mario Galaxy games. Never played those. And then you find out, oh wow, she's this big, larger than life character, and so you have stuff being explained in the film side of things and in the game side of things. And so yeah, I think both of those go together in tandem. So anyway, I don't think they retconned that per se, but
right.
Anyway, that's
so
me.
I will say the last thing I'm gonna say is like the dress she used was nearly the same one as in the game. So it does make sense where it's like, okay, Peach goes in the pipe, Rosalina's alone, and then she could have found the Lumas. But again, they like there is so many things that it's like either they assume they want us to play the games, or like it's not explained at all. And we'll get more into that in a little bit.
Before we move on, I do want to answer this question in the chat from Retro Lad that was directed towards Chris and I. It was about like, oh, are the Sonic 2 and 3 better than this movie? Sonic 1 is better than this movie.
Yeah. Actually,
I don't know about that.
Sonic 1, for me, I feel like Sonic 1 is the same level as this second Mario movie, but I think Sonic 2 and 3 do beat the both of them. Honestly, I think
Well,
and I'm a Mario fan.
I
I'm more
agree.
of a Mario fan than anything. But the Sonic
I
movies are
probably
doing their
agree.
thing right now.
Well, that's
Sonic
I
hard.
mean, I'm
2
more of a I'm more of a Mario fan too, but I can at least count Sonic 1 as a movie that had a narrative and a structure.
Oh, it
Yeah,
hurts. It
true.
hurts.
And that didn't feel rushed either. So I can.
Yeah.
Now,
It's
I will say this. I will say this. You know, even though the story is very shallow and hard and it's not much there, they cannot pull this route with the Zelda movie. This
oh
cannot
no,
happen.
no.
Oh
With
no,
the
hell
Zelda
Yeah.
no,
movie,
hell no.
there's got to be
No.
substance there. It cannot just be Zelda Easter eggs. I'm a Zelda fan, and I'm expecting to see some Zelda Easter eggs in this film, but that cannot be the core point. That cannot
Yep.
be.
I feel
So,
like yeah. So yeah, we can get into that a little bit. All right. What do we got next? Bowser Jr. Oh, because I know we briefly mentioned about Bowser himself, but it's like let's talk about his son because Rosalina, Yoshi, and Bowser Jr. are all the new characters. So let's D-Man and Josh, what do you think of Bowser Jr.'s role in the movie? How do you
I
think they
think
handled
Bowser
him?
Jr. did exactly what he needed to do as a as a child. All he wants to do is do exactly what his father wanted him to do. That what their dream was basically. He was born and raised to end up making this whole Planet Bowser thing and all that, and capturing a princess to use this cannon and all that, as his dad raised him to be, and to have a good relationship with his father and stuff. Everything to do with Bowser Jr., in my opinion, was, I mean, it was perfect, really. I mean, there's nothing else they did exactly what the video games would do with Bowser Jr., and that's to follow in his father's footsteps, to go along with his father's plans, to capture a princess or whatever. Like essentially, Bowser Jr. was exactly what I expected. You know.
yeah, I really enjoyed Bowser Jr. in this film. I think him and Bowser, like the relationship between Bowser and Bowser Jr., was probably one of the strongest parts of this whole
Oh
movie.
yeah.
Bowser Jr. was a little menace in this movie. One of my favorite sequences again is kind of when he brings Peach's castle up with the UFO and that little brief showdown that he has with Mario and Luigi during that moment. He goes into his Wonder form and he's using that paintbrush from Sunshine.
Mm.
I love that.
But no Shadow
I love that
Mario.
they gave him the. I love that they gave him the paintbrush from Sunshine. I think
Oh yeah.
that's a huge, staple. That's one of his that's where he gets his power from. And like he had it in Bowser's Fury and he, that's it's part of him. And so I'm glad they
Right.
gave him that. And so the fact that but one of the things I really loved about this is that it kind of just gets into the mindset of this character, because I mean in the games you see, okay, he seems like he's just another minion in his father's army, just trying to serve his father, doing what his father tells him to do. But I love that it kind of gets into his head of why he's doing what he's doing. He
No
wants
Mama
to
Peach.
impress his he wants to impress his father. He wants to, earn his father's respect, his loyalty, and he wants to show that, yeah, I'm by your side. I'm for what you want to do. I want us to rule. I want us to rule together like you have always wanted to. And I also love the fact that, it shows Bowser's side of it as well. That, he was, he tells Mario, I was a terrible father, in my pursuit of power, I kind of left him, to go to this. they use the excuse of I sent him to boarding school, whatever. But I basically left him, I left him alone. And so I love how it explores the nuances of that relationship, and it just kind of goes knee deep into that the games never explore. And so I really like that. And that flashback scene with the two of them where
Oh, it
he's
was
reading
so cute. I
baby
love
Bowser
that.
Jr. the
that was cool.
bedtime story.
The
That I don't know.
puppets.
That kind of touched me a little bit. That was pretty cool. And then just how the times when Bowser Jr. is able to just show up and show out with that paintbrush and just show how powerful he is. Awesome. Loved it.
Cool. All right. Let me just see. All right. Why
as
don't
for
go
my
ahead?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna
Alright,
start the
so
timer
I
for
was
your
gonna say,
end.
like, all right, yeah. As for like my side about it, so Bowser Jr., I hate children, therefore he sucks. But no, no,
Wow.
no,
That's
I
crazy
actually,
tonight.
no. They ruined the movie because of woke and children. Therefore, okay, but no, okay, but No, there's actually a point where I actually am on your guys' side because, like, Bowser Jr. I felt was actually the best part of the movie, mainly because he actually, out of all the characters, he actually felt like a character with genuine motivations and reasonings for doing what he does, like feeling abandoned by his father for so freaking long and wanting to take his father back from custody and everything, and actually wanting to like build up an army and everything, and just the the father son relationship and everything. I felt was like really meaningful. I 100% agree about like the bedtime story scene because like for me that was the best scene in the movie just because
Hmm.
Oh,
it
Oh,
actually felt like there was character development going on. Like it was a like between like the puppet scene where it's just like Bowser's telling the story like Bowser Jr. It really helps to show the bond between both those guys and how much he still cares about Bowser despite being gone for so freaking long. I think the powers he uses are really cool. I think that uh Matthew's probably the smartest person there. They don't call me Matthew Smart for nothing. Uh but uh but no, like I think Benny Safdie did a really good job voicing him. Like freaking, I did not expect that from the Uncut Gems guy.
Oh my
Like, like,
god.
like, like, does he sound like the character? No, but none of the voice actors do that for their characters, and I think for his interpretation of the character, I think they did a solid job. The only real thing that bugs me is like like the soulless dark eyes, but even then, like I'm able to adjust to them easily enough. So
Very annoying.
Bowser Jr. is like the one thing I actually do enjoy about quite a bit.
Okay. All right, Chris.
yeah, cool. So I think yeah, Bowser Jr. for me, it's like what Matt said. That I liked his motivation to getting to see Bowser, and then when he breaks him free, Bowser's already kind of like skeptical about like because Luigi was helping out being and turning over a new leaf, and I was just like, please, Nintendo, do not let Bowser just become just stay there and be like, no, son, we have to. Bowser Jr. came in and did what he needed to do and said, nah, dad, like, you said you wanted to be king. You said you wanted to rule over everything. So that's what I'm here to remind you. And I was like, thank you. Thank you, Bowser Jr. Because I felt like some people would have been annoyed, like, oh, why does Bowser Jr. need to remind Bowser who he is? And it's like, but sometimes, like, in those particular moments, like, he was pretty much what like secluded from like his own place. He was secluded from his castle. So of course his environment is just dark and gritty. Whereas the Mushroom Kingdom it's not necessarily that. So of course Bowser Jr. coming in and saying to him, "No, you need to remember who you are." And then of course like they're having a conversation about like I wasn't the best father. I went off and did my own thing. Now they can come together and actually enjoy and share their goals together. Dark goals. I'm not saying they wanted to win or anything, but like they shared that. So I was happy to kind of see that, and I think having him having the paintbrush, I was kind of annoyed at first, but then when I saw all the tricks happening, I was like, okay, all right, I was like, I'm cool with it. I'm cool. I'm cool. So
All right. So, since there's still a minute left, so the biggest thing for me was is like Fury Bowser Jr. So that wasn't in the games, right? Fury Bowser Jr. Yeah,
No.
like that's another example how it's just like there was just like a power armor sort of thing where it's like, oh, like we gotta have like Mario like get better, so it's like, oh, let's make Bowser Jr. stronger. It's like that's cool, but like, how did he do that? The Wonder thing makes sense because it kind of ties into the paintbrush. I get it, but it's like it was just weird. And it also kind of fell into the cliche of just like, oh, come on, like, oh, Bowser's like, oh, I want to change. I see them as good guys, and Junior's was like manipulating him, and like he of course falls to them. Like classic
Mario
kids
Wonder.
movie.
Wait, Mario Wonder
What?
oh
for
yeah,
that Bowser
oh
Jr.
Mario Wonder, yeah, I forgot. It is, yeah, that's what it's
No,
called.
Yeah,
that's not what I. No, what? Junior
The
wasn't. What?
He doesn't go.
fire
No,
fruit.
he doesn't go Fury
Doesn't he?
Bowser Jr. in
That's what
Mario
I'm
Wonder.
saying. Not Fury.
That's
No, no,
oh,
no.
oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I
Because
don't know.
so, correct me if I'm wrong. What I think he has his normal form. He has the paintbrush power form with the mask, and he's all blue and
Yes.
stuff. That's Wonder.
Okay, all
And
Yes.
right.
then he has
That's
Fury
Wonder.
Say
Yes.
that
Bowser,
again then.
which doesn't make any sense. Because again, that was only the big Bowser, and I don't know. But
Yeah. Now, I will say it very well could be the reason why he went into that mode is because of he. I mean, he almost watched his father die.
I mean, that
It
makes
could be
sense,
he's
yeah,
just
but
he could just be absolutely enraged during that
right.
point,
Okay.
and so that sort of makes sense. And so, which by the way, I know we'll get more into depth in into when we get to the final battle portion. But like when you see, I mean, normally you think about you hit the switch and Bowser falls into the lava and you win, yay. I don't know. Just when Bowser Jr. saw his dad go down into the lava, I'm like, oh man, that just I don't know, just kind of a dark spin on a classic
Yeah.
element
Honestly.
to me. But yeah, I don't know. So,
That's like I was
Anyway,
watching Star Wars again, honestly.
oh my god. All right, so I'm gonna try to speed things up a little bit. No rush or anything. Why don't we get to Yoshi? This is the last of the three big characters introduced in the movie. Oh, sorry. There's one more, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. The Mario characters. All right, D-Man.
Uh, I would say pretty excellent for the most part. I don't think I had any. I think Yoshi did what he had to do with his portion. I mean, he was in it more than Rosalina. He was in it probably a like most of the movie. He had one power up. I do wish maybe he had another one in there at some point, but what they did there was pretty funny. Um, I do wish they did utilize at least another kind of power up of some kind with
Mm,
Yoshi.
yeah.
But the introduction to Yoshi was pretty fun. The way they did it, and him kind of explaining his backstory was kind of funny on how he got there. Um, they they could have done a few things a little bit different, maybe, but to be honest, it's Yoshi, and he has some funny scenes, and kind of did for me what Yoshi was gonna be there to do, So like when he sees Toad, and Toad's just like, oh, so this random dinosaur shows up, and now he's part of the team. It's just freaking funny. It's just silly little stuff like that. And when he eats the little wizard guy, it was
Oh,
pretty funny
Kamek.
too. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, he did some funny stuff. I don't have any issues with it. Donald Glover being Yoshi,
I did
wow.
not expect
Okay,
that.
Yeah, that
wow.
Oh
was
my god.
it's really
Yeah, he
good.
did fine. He did just fine.
yeah,
So yeah.
Yoshi, in my opinion, had one job to do in this movie, and that was make the audience laugh. And he made me laugh. The
Oh,
screenings I
yep.
was at, the audience was laughing. Let me just and every scene that he was in, especially that brief scene where he's going down the streets of
Yes.
Brooklyn,
Yes.
and
I was gonna say.
just
Oh my
eating everything in
god.
sight, eating the dog,
Yeah.
and and just every scene that he was in just was making the audience laugh. And even like I'll be honest, a lot of people think this was kind of one of the scenes that really didn't need to be there. I laughed my head
It was
off
so.
when
Oh my
Yoshi is
god.
riding around with baby Mario and baby
Oh.
Luigi. I That was so funny to me. um
Great Yoshi's
but
Island.
but the scene that I know that got everybody was whenever he was going down the streets of Brooklyn, just causing mayhem.
So
But yeah, it was
they played
but yeah,
hip.
overall, yes, I enjoyed Yoshi. Yoshi was great.
They played Hypnotize. It took me a minute to be like,
That
oh
was
my god, I know that song from
that was
friggin' Biggie Smalls out of all
yeah.
people, and they played that. Literally, first time I saw it, like my girlfriend and I were like dying laughing. It was like amazing. Oh my god, and that's well, all right, but that's pretty much it. Matthew, Chris.
I think it's me in it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Yoshi, like Donald Glover did his thing. Definitely did his job on that. I was kind of skeptical. I was thinking Donald Glover, but then I was like, you know what? He's a good actor, good voice actor. I've watched him since what 30 Rock Community days, and obviously I'm a big fan of his music. He's a alter ego Childish Gambino, so I thought, you know what? He's creative enough. Let's see what he's got. Did a really good job voice acting. I thought, I was expecting him, Yoshi, to say maybe a few lines, and then everybody was like, turns around and said, huh? And then he's like, Yoshi, back to that, you know what I mean? So I was kind of expecting that. If they did that, I would have laughed even more because I was like, that would have been so hilarious. But they didn't. I was even expecting him to say Mama Luigi when he popped out. And then, yeah, I thought he was going to say that. So I was thinking even that as well. But overall, yeah, the way they introduced him was really good. The Brooklyn Streets bit was funny. Again, he just made people laugh. Like when he was like baby, what about Mario and Luigi? He's there seeing how big the dinosaurs. He's helping them, trying to save them. It's like, yeah, that was really funny. I enjoyed that aspect. I do feel like I wanted to see like a more of a power up for him as well. But I just love the fact that he swallowed somebody and spat out about a man an egg. So I was like, alright, cool. It's simple, innit, you know. But overall, yeah, like Yoshi, definitely one of the main highlights in this movie for me. I felt like.
Honestly, I mean, Yoshi is my favorite Mario character.
Hmm.
And like, I feel like I think they did a good job making it so that he was involved enough in the movie, given the ambition of it. It does make me wish they did a Mario World movie more, just because they actually
Yeah.
could have done more interesting things with him. Just because the movie would be focused on like, that's the game that introduced Yoshi in the first place. But like, I think what they were able to do with him was fine enough. I mean, the bit with like the giant dinosaur definitely felt like it was forced in just to throw in a Yoshi's Island reference and just give him something more interesting to do. But otherwise, I thought they did a decent job with him. I think they were smart with saving the announcement that Donald Glover was voicing him for later, just so people could get used to the voice and not just make immediate judgments right away. And I think Donald Glover did a pretty dang good job voicing the guy. It's just fun. It's just funny picturing, the freaking the cute little dinosaur being voiced by Mister This Is America. So I enjoyed that. I will say when they did play Hypnotize, it did put the fear of God into my heart. Just because, considering I know how much he was associated with Biggie, that meant that they were going to credit P. Diddy at the end of the movie, and they did. And that, I think I had to just take a moment and breathe. Because, oh boy. Otherwise, yeah, I thought Yoshi was fine, but they could have definitely done more with him.
Yeah, we're none of us are Diddy fans, by the way. Nope.
Yeah, I would hope not. I would hope not.
Nope.
Yeah, Diddy Kong is the one exception.
Diddy Kong with a capital K. All right, next. Anyway, so again, I was thinking, spoiler cast, for those of you who forget it. Okay, so next I have game references and cameos. I figured I'd put Fox in here because like we talked about him a little bit, but I feel like it is kind of like considered under that like umbrella where it's like, it what it. I'll just say like on my end, because it's like I've been kind of like interested in getting into Star Fox again because it's like I played 64 a little bit growing up, um, but I actually got like 3D like a couple years ago because I was like I'm actually gonna like sit through and play it and beat it, which I did, and then because of this movie, I actually went on Switch Online. I played the original, which I never finished, beat that too, which is awesome. So like having like this character in the movie and everything, it was like awesome to have like a way of like incorporating another series that also like fit within the theme. If it was something like Zelda or like Metro maybe, but like Zelda, it's like it's kind of like two conflicting things. And also again because of the space theme, I think it fit. Um, but Damon and Josh, what do you think of Fox? But also like any references or any cameos you thought were like notable
It
to you?
made me have to do a Star Fox art piece. So if that says anything,
Buy his art. It's good.
I
Buy
am
his art.
Fox
If that-
McCloud.
dude,
My father's dead.
that it's I hate like I I I love that Fox is in this movie, but I hate to say that in a Mario movie that Star Fox is my favorite character in this movie. I hate to say that, but he's my favorite character in this movie. But never
yeah.
ever in my life would someone tell me that Star Fox is going to frickin' pilot Rosalina's house. Would I believe them?
That
And
was
did,
so cool.
and it was sick. It was freaking awesome. My I'm sorry. My favorite parts of this movie are with Star Fox, man. But which is very unfortunate because it's a Mario movie. But he just for me, he outshined everybody because his parts were just so freaking cool. If Mario and Luigi maybe would have had a couple more power ups, maybe they would have. But I wanted to see the bee power up, and it wasn't even in the movie, which is very unfortunate. That was
Yeah,
disappointing.
Honey
Uh,
Hive. Sorry to interrupt, but I was gonna say like Honey Hive because I was originally gonna have a location section, but I scrapped it for time. Honey Hive was shafted. Like
mhm.
the
Yeah,
only way
it
you could
was.
tell it was Honey Hive was the gate. It was a generic ass like pink like flower planet. It was cool, but like again, you couldn't. And they also like remember like the last direct where it's like, oh, here's the voice actress of the Queen Bee. It's like you would make that makes you think this is a big part of the movie. It wasn't. So why did they do that? And why did I don't know. But
It was cool
anyway,
seeing the queen and stuff, but that was definitely a disappointment.
Yeah,
But
flop.
going back to Star Fox, I think that the way the elements they added him into the movie. First of all, we all wish that he wasn't spoiled because that would have been incredible to not know. Because I remember the first poster that had like his arm or something. People were saying that was probably Fox, but I was like, no way. I didn't believe it until Nintendo officially dropped it. And I was like, man, this sucks. Because there was no avoiding it, basically. If you avoided it, congrats. Somehow you stayed off the internet, basically, before seeing the movie. But um, I'm about to go into spoilers. Warning, we already have, but we're going to more right now. Because I got to mention something that I was like, what? And that was Mr. Game& and Watch.
yeah,
Yeah, I would. Oh,
That was
that was insane.
crazy. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, he's fighting exactly like Smash.
Yeah.
Exactly to the T of Smash against Dry Bowser. Like, it was straight up a Smash Brothers live action sequence in animated form, in movie form. Like, it was just straight up Smash of Dry Bowser versus Game& and Watch. It was so freaking awesome. I couldn't believe like how awesome that sequence. That's one of my favorite parts of the movies is that as well right there, just because it was such a cool freaking thing. He gets the paintbrush, makes Game& and Watch, says he's a bad drawer, and freaking Game& and Watch just is in the movie. Like, what the heck, dude? The Rob stuff was cool too, but yeah, Game& and Watch was freaking sweet. Josh, go.
All right, yeah, loved Fox in this film, all the way through. And after seeing him in the movie, you can't convince me otherwise that there is a new Star Fox game in the works, and that there is a standalone Star Fox film in the works. Like there's no way, that you
Yeah.
can't convince me that's happening. Every single bit of him being in, like again, kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier with just the score. Hearing Star Fox's theme playing in that cinema.
Hmm.
Peak. Loved it, absolutely loved it. And just the space sequence where they're trying to outrun Bowser Jr.'s UFO, that with the asteroid belt theme from the Star Fox games playing, it was so cool. And as far as my favorite cameo, it's a blink and you'll miss it, but I was losing my mind. Metroid, Samus's ship. Samus
Wait,
was
was
in
it in the
freaking
movie? Where
It
was
was?
it?
yeah.
I couldn't
I
find
seen
it.
it twice. I
Yes.
don't remember.
It's right when
well,
Peach and
well-
Rosalina enter the Gateway Galaxy, and I was losing my freaking mind when I
Oh.
saw it. And so the fact that Metroid
look
and Star
this up.
Fox and Mario all kind
I gotta look this up.
take place in the same universe, I was losing my mind.
Pikmin. Just
Yep.
saying.
Oh yeah, Pikmin as well. And so I'm really hoping that and Nintendo can deny it all they want. I truly do believe it. It may not be happening for another like 10 years. A Smash Brothers movie's coming. Like there's you
okay.
cannot convince me otherwise. That is
Actually,
happening.
Yeah,
Like,
I know they say that it doesn't, but I think in over 10, it's going to take at least 10 years or more, but it's going to happen.
it's
Yeah.
gonna take a while, but
It
like
will happen.
I mean, in this one movie, we had Fox,
Holy
Mario,
smokes, you're
Luigi,
right.
Samus.
I
Game
just
&
found the
Watch,
clip.
Pikmin.
Oh my gosh. So Metroid is not going
It's
to be
real.
live action. I don't think it's going to be live action. Wow. Okay, that's nuts.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know about
I
I
that.
was losing my mind. I mean,
I've seen it twice.
because
Missed that.
yeah, me and my sister went to see the film, and I remember us joking going to as we're driving to. I'm like,
What?
it's a space movie. We know
What
Star
the
Fox is
heck?
in this. What if we just see like I don't know, Samus's ship fly across or something like that? And when we actually saw it, me and her we jumped out of our seats, and like it was a theater full of nerds, so people were losing their mind. We weren't the only ones who saw it. There were some other people who were like, and so yeah, it was cool, and so that was my favorite blink and you'll miss it cameo. But going back to Star Fox, I came home and rebooted up Star Fox 64 and played some of Star Fox Assault. I've actually seen some people online getting into Star Fox for the first time because of this film, and I'm really
Nice.
glad
That's good.
that this film has brought Star Fox back into the limelight that hasn't been done in a long time.
No,
And
it's
I
great.
think Star Fox needs this resurgence. So I'm happy
Absolutely.
with what we got of Star
Oh,
Fox
sorry.
of Fox McCloud.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about like GameCube prices and everything, and I'll transition over to Matt and Chris in a second because I was like, oh, it's gonna skyrocket. As far as I know, like it's still around like the 50, 60, 70 range. Like for a GameCube game, you'd think Assault would be in the hundreds of dollars or like, you know what I mean? Like it's not great, but like I don't know, but as far as I can like tell and everything, I feel like it could be a lot worse. So it's nice that it's still somewhat accessible. Like if you wanted to buy secondhand or again with NSO, like you can play those games. It's not like you can't. Like Pokemon. So
Uh, okay, but yeah, for me, okay, like I already said before, I mean, I thought the Star Fox stuff was fine. I didn't really like again, was it necessary? No, since it was here, I think they did a fun enough job with it. With like again that little 2D animated sequence was just wild to see. It felt so anti-illumination. It was funny to me to watch, but it was still really cool. Everything else is just like I feel like with the references on the camera, it feels more like when the references take place over like an actual like narrative, that's when I have a problem with it. Because it's like, I saw like the Pikmin who are walking out of the ship. I saw like freaking Mr. Game and Watch in the final battle. I saw like all the power ups and everything. And I feel like they're less so feel like they work well in the context of the world
Mario Maker
and more
references too.
so well, the Mario Maker stuff I thought was fine, but everything else it was more so just Nintendo wanted me and Illumination for that matter just wanted me to get out of my seat and go, "Oh my gosh, I know what that is! I'm pogging so hard right now." That's what it feels like to me, because at least with the first movie, like at the references while they were there they either didn't shove them down your throat and stop the momentum, or if they did, they actually led to something. Where 9 times out of 10, this movie just doesn't do that, which makes it feel a lot more forced.
So
Like I think it's something like the Lego movie, for example, that yeah, that has a ton of references in it for like Lego fans and fans of like other multimedia, but at least the story is compelling enough and interesting enough so that all those references and stuff don't get in the way of that. It's the best of both worlds. I don't see why we can't do that with Mario as well.
you're real quick. You're telling me that technically on one planet in one Mario movie we had Mario, Luigi, Rob, Star Fox, Peach,
Mr. Game
Samus,
and
and
Watch.
Pikmin all in the same spot at once. What?
Oh,
That's
oh,
exactly. Yep.
Kind of.
crazy work.
What?
Crazy work.
What the heck?
I
I
forgot
don't
about
get it.
Rob, honestly.
I don't get it
Which
because like I'm wondering why are they doing a live action Zelda? I understand they want to have that world too, but that's going to be separate from this universe. So like why if they want to build a connected world here, like why are they doing a separate universe for Zelda instead of? I mean, I know they gotta they Illumination can't do everything, but why would they want to do it live action versus just getting another studio that does animation to do Zelda and then maybe they can do crossovers that way because live action can't really cross over with the animated stuff. So it's like, well, how does this all work?
Across the Spider Verse did that for a minute with Donald Glover. But like, you have to be
True.
very, very careful with that type of thing. But
Yes.
e- either way,
Anyway.
Chris, you go.
Chris?
Yeah, so being a big Star Fox fan, like Star Fox is like my favorite Nintendo character of all time. So seeing him in the Mario movie did make me happy. I can't lie. Like I do feel like that I feel like I wanted to see him maybe when if they were gonna do the Smash Bros movie, I would love to see the connection, like the worlds actually colliding. Then we see the different people come in, and then we see Star Wars, we see this, we that. I feel like that would have been a bit more impactful. But seeing him in the Mario movie, and then when he's flying the ship, and then I hear the music, I said, you know what? Salute Star Wars, carry on the mission, you know what I mean? And then so it kind of I was glad. I liked Glenn Powell as Star Fox. I thought his voice acting was really good. I was like, wow, okay, this is good. Like he sounds like Star Fox because I feel like Star Fox. I feel like when it got to Assault, he became a bit more serious. Like still kind of like laid back a little, but you could tell like the tone of it was still a bit more serious. But coming from someone who's played pretty much all the games except for Zero,
Mm.
um, I felt like we need now that we've seen this. I do want to see a new Star Fox game now because I'm at the point where it's like, cool. I understand you gave us kind of like Starlink, you gave us Zero, but I felt like the story you had from Assault, no, sorry, from Adventures to Assault, you could have kind of continued that. They did with Command, but Command wasn't really. It had good end. It had good choices. I think. I just felt like it could have been like a Wii title because it wasn't. It was only for the DS. So I was like,
Mm.
yeah, you know. But overall, yeah, like seeing Star Fox was definitely brought me back to like my kid days of just playing like those games and stuff. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully if they do a movie or a new game, anything really.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, okay, so why don't we move on to the next topic real quick? Um, Sorry, I was getting distracted, but yeah, no, I was kind of lying. I would say if you want to get Star Fox, get into it now. Is kind of that collector trend. It's like, oh, look, something's relevant. You want to grab it quick because otherwise,
Yeah.
like, um, like Assault, like it's the price of like an MSRP game. Like if you look on eBay, it's like 60, 70 ish. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I'll probably end up getting that soon. I'm just gonna keep my eye out on everything. What was next? Um, are we good to do? Should we just? I know we said music was next. Do we want to get in the final battle real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
do that. Yeah.
let's get that started. And uh, go.
All right.
Um,
Josh, go ahead first.
you All right. The final battle. This is where I have a little bit of another criticism of the movie. I kind of, as great as it was, I really wish that it was done sort of more like the game, where they're on that, where Bowser and Mario are on kind of that a little small planet, and Bowser like jump. You see him jump on those little blue spots, and he does the spin move, and he goes around the planet. Like I would have liked to have seen a final battle more kind of galaxy style. However, what we got, I really enjoyed, like seeing Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi all be a part of that, and that it's Bowser and Bowser Jr. It's a big climactic fight. Um, and I love how it starts out where Bowser kind of just goes down really quickly, and I'm like, either two things are fixing to happen. Either he's gonna become Dry Bone Bowser, or he's gonna become Fury Bowser, and he's gonna be gigantic. One of the two things is fixing to happen. And when he comes out as Dry Bone Bowser, that was so cool. And so I love how like he comes out and he's like, he's like, I'm the Lord of Bones, I am the Skull King. I was like, that is I don't know.
No, that was
I
epic.
kind of got chills whenever when he did that, and then there you just then Bowser Jr. becomes it becomes Fury Bowser Jr. and they're just chasing them down this kind of hallway. It looks kind of, I mean, I mean, I know Mario's never been this way, but I don't know. It just kind of got I don't know. That was kind of creepy to me. But you see them just kind of just going down that hallway, and they're chasing after Mario and Peach, and I love the look on Peach's face in that moment. She's like, "Oh, we better run, or otherwise we're screwed." And so um and so that whole sequence again, and it kind of goes back to sort of my brief criticism with Rosalina, is it would have been a great moment to have Rosalina as part of that final fight. However, I understand why they didn't have her in, because she's a very OP character, and that battle would have been over 2 seconds
Right.
if she was free.
Mm.
But however, I do love how when Mario got the red star from the Galaxy games and flew around, and we saw the dragon from Mario Odyssey, and he goes in and he does that classic spin move and saves Bowser Jr. Just the whole fight, starting from a classic fight with Bowser, escalating to this big just I don't know, battle. You know, it starts as a classic fight between Mario and Bowser on the bridge, escalating to this big climactic fight with everybody involved. I thought it was great. So yeah,
I thought it was cool how it went from classic Mario Brothers all the way up to Mario Odyssey in a way. And of course, uh, Mario, the recent short one. I keep Bowser's Fury. Um, a lot of reference galore, but there's going to be. But I like how they did that. How it was like Mario Brothers one, but then it also went back to the main stuff and Bowser Jr.'s controlling the stuff, and then Bowser falls, and it shows classic Mario Brothers of Bowser falling. Pretty cool seeing that, and then them tying back, and then a lot of references. But the Smash Brothers stuff was pretty surprising, pretty cool there. With the Game and Watch stuff was great. Um, but yeah, again, I do agree with wishing that they did a little bit more with that final fight, stretched it on to where like it seems like they just won, and then something happens to where there's another fight, and it's like I don't know because I wanted it to be I would have loved to see like a galaxy like finale as well with it on like a planet where they move around and stuff different ways. And again, a couple more power ups would have been nice. I'm very happy that they did use the red star. Very extremely happy that they did that. Same
Oh
with
no, that was amazing. Oh
same
my
with the
god.
dragon. Same with the dragon. Like it was just such a amazing thing to see in animated form in a movie. But I do think the movie could have been a little bit longer to stretch out
Yeah.
some of the sequences there to make it more fun. Just a little bit more
Mm.
climactic. Make it a little more fun. Other than that, um, I mean, I don't have a lot of major issues other than the fact that yeah, they could have made it a little longer and made some a little more twists in there where Rosalina escapes and then there's a little bit more to the fighting with her maybe involved. You know, maybe I kind of wish that Bowser Jr. had a plan B. I
Mm.
do wish that he had a plan B here where they just lost. Rosalina's out, but he didn't have a plan B for if she escapes. And I wish he would have had a plan B and there was a little bit more to that fight. Because he's not an idiot. He's just his father's son. Bowser didn't have the plans going, but you know he did. So yeah,
Okay. I gotta grab something. Give me 1 second.
you guys can go ahead. I think though.
Yeah. Yeah. Your go.
Cool. So yeah, I think because I said earlier that the pacing wasn't wasn't really done well. I felt like that the final battle just didn't. I wouldn't say it was crazy short, but I just felt like I expected probably more than what I saw. I did like seeing the fact that Bowser Jr. did get a lot more limelight because I was kind of thinking when the battle comes, like, is he gonna get this? Like, is he gonna get a bit more of the? Is he gonna get the limelight, or is he gonna like kind of like stand back a little bit or let Bowser do most of it? But he got pretty much most of it. Bowser did get some of it, and I think when he turned into dry bones, I was like, okay, that's even better now. That's a power of his. So I was, all right, cool, that's even better. That's definitely something that they've can continue. I felt like that, you know, like I said, I wanted to see a bit of Rosalie, but of course, as Josh said, the OP that she can be very OP and stuff. So I do understand that. Unless if they had something to match her level of power, then I felt like, oh yeah, they can release her. Then she could have her moment. You know what I mean? Um, Mario and Luigi, I think I was okay with their screen time because I saw a lot in the first film. We saw a lot of them do their fighting anyway, so I knew we was gonna see them in a smaller segment, and I was okay with it. You know, and then Yoshi got his little bit of a shine as well. So they did what they could, despite how I felt about the pacing. But yeah, overall, I think the last final battle it was okay. It was okay for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, like, I mean, the final battle, I mean, it was serviceable, but for me, I just couldn't care less about. Because at this point, I just stopped caring about the characters a long time ago. So
Mm-hmm.
I
You're cutting out, Matthew.
I think
Frozen.
we lost him.
Yeah, Frozen.
It had to be one of us.
Damn. Sorry, I've been like kind of autopiloting and
See, I thought
stuff,
it would
but
have been me because I'm from the UK, fam. So I thought I'd be coming to
yeah,
shop
it's
Oh, he's
crazy.
back. He's
Oh,
back.
oh
You're
my
good.
god. Okay, yeah. Sorry, freaking. Oh, that's great. Yeah, my freaking box just doesn't like me today for whatever reason.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
freaking. Okay, so yeah, I, I really am not. Not to say that the final fight was like bad or anything, but at that point in the movie, I just could not care less about it because at this point, I stopped caring about the characters long ago because of how flat they were. I couldn't really care if they ended up living or dying,
Hmm.
and so it's so when I'm mainly just seeing spectacle with them, it just I don't feel anything. Like I said, the Mr. Game & Watch cameo just felt way too forced for me. It does that cliche I hate in like a lot of children's action movies where just like the bad guy is gonna do that one final blow and then like the good guy comes in at the last minute to like save
Mm.
everyone or like the group and
Hmm.
everything. And it's just like it just felt so freaking predictable. I knew he was gonna turn to Dry Bowser the second he fell in the lava.
Yeah.
Freaking, I mean,
Hmm.
the power ups, I wish they would have done more with like the galaxy power ups, like friggin', because like because they gave Mario, I think they gave Mario the drill one, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken,
they did.
which
That
yeah,
like
was
Joe,
weird.
they gave him,
which
yeah.
like which like yeah, there was a standalone drill in Galaxy 2, but they used the one from Wonder for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I give credit, they give Yoshi a power up from Galaxy 2, the Blimp Fruit, though
Yep.
naturally I think they chose the Blimp Fruit because they wanted to get DeviantArt users in the door. But
Hmm.
something inflation. But either way, it just felt like sure. And I like the Mario Maker sequence from beforehand, like with Bowser Jr. and everything. But other than that, I just felt like yeah, it was a serviceable fight. But at this point, like when I do not care about the characters, like at least when I was watching stuff like Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, they have enough going on within their stories where it's just like and like their characters actually have motivations. So even though it was like a big bad final fight, I at least cared enough to see if like who would live or die.
Hmm.
With Mario, there's like nothing here. Again, people will excuse it because oh, Mario games don't have stories. This is not a video game. This is a
Right.
movie. I expect more character development.
Okay. So, I'd say we have about like 10, a little over 10 minutes left, before I
Mhm.
have to get going and everything. Maybe a little longer. We'll see. But yeah, I'd say like real quick. I think the final battle was pretty cool. Like how it was the 2-on-1 and then it was the 2v2. I definitely agree with Matthew though. It's like I think it's like more I'm thinking about it. It's like I feel like they kind of were like trying to tie this in with the Mario Wonder expansion for Switch 2 because again, Rosalina's in that and everything. It's like obviously you have the
Mhm.
Galaxy 1 and 2 like games like ported to Switch. I feel like more so it like especially with like Bowser Jr. and the Wonder transformation and everything. It's like it feels like it's a Galaxy movie, but it's like they're pulling from like a lot of different Mario games, and I feel like they could have also pulled more from like Galaxy itself, if that makes sense. Because I think they're trying to be like, we want to like make a Galaxy movie and use this as a set piece, but we also need to like tie it into like the 48th anniversary. Because I remember at the time, I think didn't they say like along the lines of like, oh, this is like the big 40th anniversary celebration or like part of that? Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
that I get that, but since again it came out this year and not last year, number one, and number two, it's like again it's a Galaxy movie thing, which is fine and it makes sense, but it's like I don't know. On the one hand, it is kind of a mess at some points and like a lot of cool references, but at the same time, it does kind of flow. I'm not the best at explaining things, but anyway, real quick, we talked about this at the top when we were thinking about Daisy and about where Mario could go next. What does everyone think the next movie is gonna be? And this doesn't have to be a debate. Now I feel like the debate like can be more of just like an open-ended discussion for the last like 10 minutes. What could the movie be called? What do you think is gonna happen? And what characters could we see?
No.
I mean, me personally, I just feel like I don't really trust Illumination or Nintendo to handle the next movie well after how this movie turned out for me and how well it's doing because they don't really have a reason to improve if they're just making so much money anyway and the audience scores are so high anyway. So it's just like whatever direction they end up taking it, whether it be like they're not gonna do like Mario Land because not only do not
No.
many people don't really remember those games, but just going to that after Galaxy, that'd be like calling the next 3D Mario game Super Mario Journey. But yeah, but friggin' like I mean maybe they could do Sunshine. I mean Daisy could fit in that environment.
Yeah.
I mean with Odyssey they already have like the Sand Kingdom in there, and like Mario's home place is close enough to New Donk City, so it's just like maybe they could do an original concept, but I think they just want to keep up with referencing the actual
Right.
games themselves.
Yeah.
I think
What if
yeah, I think
what
my
if
closest bet would
we
be Sunshine, but
what
yeah.
what if we haven't seen the next 3D Mario game either yet though? It could tie in with
Mm.
that as
Maybe.
well.
True,
It could
True.
tie in with
true.
that too, with
Well,
what
that's
they might do.
I mean, the thing
Maybe it might
is
be too soon.
But would that come
yeah,
out though before the Mario movie though? Well,
Yeah.
or would the
Yeah,
movie
because
come out
we're three
before?
years
I
we're
don't know.
3 years away from the next movie. We're
I mean,
definitely
they did debut Donkey Kong's redesign way before Donkey Kong Bonanza
oh
came
yeah, that is
announced.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is like I was thinking we'd get a Galaxy 3, and I know I know Josh mentioned a few times like it would be cool to see like an open world Mario. I get that. Maybe it's just me getting older. Personally, after Bonanza, I'd rather it be more of. I know Demetrius saying this before, and I wish he was here because James is talking Mario Titans. Um,
Sorry. Let me interrupt you for a second, because this feels like a Demish line. The Mario Titans movie is happening next year.
oh my God.
Demeach would love that.
Oh man,
It'd make 10
I would be scared.
Demichillion dollars.
$1 million. No, but like I'm thinking personally, I had a couple ideas. Um, 3D Mario game. I personally, I mean, this might be biased. A Galaxy thing would make sense, like after all the Galaxy hype and like the movie and everything, um, because it's like, oh, please, childhood like dream, like ball my eyes out, like seeing Rosalina return, like like a kind of a return to roots of like a more linear Mario style, change of pace. Oh my God, yes. And also with Bonanza, it's like it's an awesome game, but it's like we have Bonanza and then a 3D Mario. It's like if 3D Mario is like an Odyssey again, or like a 64 again, it's just like how can we differentiate that from Bonanza? Like I know there's other ways, but it's like at a fundamental level, if you remove the characters, if you look at just the mechanics and everything, I feel like the two would be too similar in scope in the gameplay, especially if 3D Mario is, let's say, coming out this year or maybe early next year, right? Like um movie wise, I think we're probably gonna get Odyssey. I feel like it would make a lot of like you can't really go
Yeah.
up from a Galaxy. I feel like, and also just like I can imagine it being like Daisy is just like I've traveled around the world, and then you
Wario
see
and
the
Waluigi
Odyssey.
though too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought Wario was gonna be in the end credits. So I
Well,
did.
hang on.
Go
I
ahead.
think
Go ahead.
you're making a good point here because Mario, the first Mario movie, referenced Galaxy
Yep.
because there was a couple references. One, the main one being the Peach reference of her saying there's a lot of galaxies out there, this and that, and we were like, okay, maybe they're doing a Galaxy next. This one had Odyssey characters in it, and one of which was an actual world from Odyssey. So, I mean, you could be right. If we go by references, then they might just do that next. But there was references to Sunshine as well with the Delfino characters. So I
Yeah,
mean,
my thing with Sunshine though is that because Sunshine was before Galaxy, so I'm thinking
yeah,
now that we've seen Galaxy, I'm thinking, can we really go to Sunshine? Because I mean, yeah, the Shine Sprites is a cool aspect, and the Dial Delfino is like it's really good and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but it's like Sunshine was cool for the land, and then outside of
they
the
might mix
Russian,
both.
and then
They
out
might mix
there,
both in there.
I mean, if they could mix both, that would be cool. But I
Yeah.
think on its
Like-
own, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I think they care about the Mario timeline at this point.
No,
Uh,
that's
Yeah,
something.
true. Yeah,
I don't know. If you ask me, my money's on the Mario Picross movie.
I'm
Oh my
just gonna say
god.
that they're just gonna call it Super Mario World.
$1 million for Picross.
I don't
Love
know.
it.
I'm thinking they're just gonna go with like Super Mario
Jeez.
World or something
Yeah.
for the third
Maybe.
movie
Like,
title.
do you
Something simple.
potentially think after this there could be after the next Mario movie there could be like a Smash Bros thing or
Not that soon. We're gonna get a
No.
Luigi's
because
Mansion
my
movie.
thing with the Smash Bros is like
It's a
I
long
feel like
ways
once it got
away.
to Brawl
Yeah.
and Ultimate we got to see the
After,
stories anyway. So like
Mhm. Well, the
I'm
rumor has
thinking
it we might get Luigi's Mansion before Mario 3, but I don't know if that makes sense. So we'll probably get it
no,
after
there's
Mario 3 in
no
my eyes.
Mhm.
We're gonna get a Luigi's Mansion movie at some point, and Donkey Kong I think it might be getting a movie.
I think
Then it
that's
looks like
already
Star Fox might at
happening,
some
right? I
point.
don't know. Let
So
me fact check that.
that's what I'm
So
I
saying.
think that's
I
the reason
also
why they didn't have Donkey Kong in the movie outside like those 2 seconds in the city,
oh, yep,
and like
So they might do DK
it's
before Mario 3
registered.
instead,
I
and
also
then
don't
Luigi's
think
Mansion
I
after
also
that.
think people I also think people need to manage their expectations if they
Yep.
do a Smash Brothers film. I don't
yeah,
think
It'll
it's
be a
gonna be
while.
this big
No.
grand
no,
roster
No.
of characters.
It's a
I think
long
it's
ways
gonna be
away.
based on the original small
Pushing it,
roster from
yeah,
the
Yep.
yeah,
N64.
Oh yeah.
That's what I
it's
It'll be
think it's
small.
gonna be based
probably,
on.
100%.
yeah.
I think that
It'd be
makes
very
sense
small.
You
as
know,
well because you can't
I agree.
have, especially in Ultimate now, you
But
can't
here's
have
Mm.
all these other
But here's
characters in.
another thing. They're doing
no.
Legend of Zelda live action. Would they ever consider doing like a Toon Link movie by Illumination? You
That's what
know?
I think they could do.
Ooh, okay.
Are they just going to keep
I
that
mean,
universe separate, do a live action, more serious Zelda universe, and then Illumination do like Toon Link way down the line? That's a ways down the line. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
they could technically set, if they're setting up Donkey Kong and Star Fox now, in the third Mario movie, they're going to reference another franchise again. I mean, yeah, there
Absolutely.
was an Easter egg for Pikmin, an Easter egg for Metroid, but like an actual character that's in the movie, like Donkey Kong was or like Star Fox was. I guarantee you, the third
Mhm.
movie's going to have another franchise character as have a main part of the movie. Again, I do.
I mean, the reason why I'm so against the idea of a Smash Brothers movie is because, one, I'm pretty sure Illumination doesn't want to put all their eggs into the Nintendo basket. I'm pretty sure they want to keep doing stuff like Despicable Me
Yep.
and Secret Life of
They will.
Pets or any other IPs they do.
yeah,
will.
of
And
course.
two, like the reason why I thought the MCU worked so well for the longest time was because the Marvel characters kind of already existed within the same universe, within the same timeline, on the same planet. Sure, you had exceptions like Thor, for example, but for the most part, the characters sort of already coexist in the same universe, and most of them were like humans anyway, with like, compelling backstories. So it was much easier for them to come together and actually, bond as a team. With Nintendo, you got so many different universes to work with so many different genres. Freaking, modern times, freaking fantasy. There are complete worlds where
Kirby.
like humans don't
Yep.
exist. Yeah. I was about to say Kirby. Like freaking,
Yeah.
yeah.
There was a Kirby
Pokemon
reference.
stuff or like regular animals. There was. I freaking. You know what? I believe you. They referenced everything in this movie for like no. This
Yeah.
movie is slop. I'm sorry.
Oh my
Like,
god.
like,
But I hear it in
freaking,
the sense of
it's reference slop. It's reference slop. I'm sorry. I hate
No,
the word
but-
slop. That's what this movie is. Okay.
I hear you in
And
the
if they
sense
make
of
a
the
Smash Brothers
thing.
movie,
I really
it's just
do.
gonna be a bunch of reference slop with like no cohesion for
Yeah.
characters, story, anything.
Like
Well,
I
that's
said,
why they're
Brawl-
built
like I
up in
said,
their.
Brawl
That's
and
why they're
Ultimate
built up in
already
their
gave
own
us more
movie.
story.
Oh
So,
my
Brawl
God.
and
So
Ultimate
I,
gave us
I don't
more
even want to
story.
ask what your rating out of 10 was, Matthew.
Oh, it's a 3. It is a 3.
I
Oh
expect you to say less
shit.
than that. I expect you to give it like a
Oh.
0.
Oh no! Like I mean, I said the aspects I liked. I liked freaking Bowser Jr. I thought the first act was
Damn.
decent enough. I thought I was nice that Luigi actually got screen time and everything.
Oh my
And
god.
like again, the animation was beautiful. Then again, what big budget movie doesn't? I thought the music was nice. There were aspects of this movie I thought were redeemable here. Like, don't get me wrong.
So if you really like the
And
third movie, will you watch Galaxy again?
I don't know about that one, Chief. I'd rather just play Galaxy again. I do agree that the critics were out of line with what they were saying about the movie. They were not going hard enough.
Oh my
Oh
god.
gosh.
Damn. So I'd say
That's hilarious.
oh my god. So now they're talking about fine ratings. So again, I saw the movie twice. Whatchamacallit. To wrap it up, in terms of what I liked and didn't like, as my favorite series of like all time, my favorite game of all time represented, it was disappointing that Rosalie got shafted. The end was very rushed and could have been a lot more smoother paced and a lot of things weren't explained. but it was a fun time. Even the second time, like discovering the new references, kind of like seeing the first movie, that was great. Like seeing like the names of the galaxies and like hearing the music. Like there was a lot more Mario music this time around. Versus the first
Mhm.
movie where it's like kind of taking that away and putting the lights and stuff, which I really appreciate. I'd say it's probably an 8.5, where it's like I thought it was a 9.5 when I first saw it. Seeing it the second time, where it's like I understand the flaws. It's not perfect, but it's fun, and that's important. Especially with like things going on and everything. It's just like, hey, after doing this online course, after like the start of the year being kind of but like this movie like was what I needed now, and I feel like as a Mario fan, I'm happy. Um, Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, think for that, yeah, the pacing, story. I feel like some parts were shaky, a lot shaky a lot of the times. But I do think there were some enjoyable moments. I do think there were some really good moments. There was some more. I feel like there was some more highs. There was some lows, like a lot of lows, but I feel like there was just more highs for me. But I'll give it like a 6 out of 10
Okay,
because
that's fair.
just felt like yeah, I just feel like I feel like that's me. I feel
Yeah.
like the first one I gave that one like a 7.5. I was like, wow, I went into it kind of like not expecting to really enjoy it, but then I enjoyed it
Mm,
more than I did. So
mm-hmm.
first one I gave 7.5, but this one kind of scaled it back for me, six
Right.
out of 10. But it's not bad though. If it was like on the screen on TV, or said my friend said, "Oh yeah, let's watch this, just check it out." Yeah, I'll watch it again. It's cool, you know. But yeah, it's just average for me, really.
Cool. Josh.
And here I thought you were on my side.
No, I mean, I am. I'm not fully against it. Like,
Yeah, no, no. I mean,
yeah.
I'd personally still give like the first movie like a 7 or something, but
Mm.
Okay.
yeah. But go ahead,
Josh.
Josh.
Yeah. So I saw the movie. I've seen the movie 3 times now. I know I'm a sucker. Sorry, Matthew. Um, uh,
You have ruined me.
yeah. When I first came out of the movie, first time I saw it, I gave it a 9.5. And then after seeing it the second and third time, I gave it a 9. And that's
That's
after
fair.
that's after after I put out my review and everything like that. And as even though Rosalina was kind of underutilized, I loved what I saw of her. I love that the movie moves like a roller coaster, like a Mario themed roller coaster. I don't know. It works for me. I know it doesn't work for everybody. And the musical score. I know we didn't really get to talk about it a whole lot, but the musical score made this film for me. Like just getting to hear
Absolutely.
some of
Yeah.
Galaxy's iconic music
Yes.
into this,
Music was really good.
like
Yeah, I'll
when
give you
they
that.
go onto planet Bowser, and you
Mhm.
hear the classic final stage theme from Galaxy One, that
Yeah.
gave me chills.
Oh my
I was so
god.
happy about that. So Brian Tyler, I hope he gets an Oscar for the score. I really do. But yeah, overall 9 out of 10 from me, and
Nice.
I'm definitely I know I'm a sucker. I'm gonna buy it when it comes out on digital,
Oh, me too.
and I can't wait.
Oh,
I
man,
can't
I
wait to
hear it,
see it
man. If
again.
you
So,
enjoyed it, man, hey,
so
So,
rub that with your chest,
so,
man.
so, so basically, me giving it a 3 out of 10 is the reason why you saw it 3 times
Nah.
to counteract
sorry,
me, to spite
sorry,
me specifically.
sorry.
D-Man?
Don't be sorry. It's your opinion. I will not make fun of you for it, at least out loud.
Oh, jeez.
Well, for me, I've seen it twice, and I'm content till the Blu-ray. I'm
Yep.
gonna buy the physical copy of Blu-ray. For me personally, I go by rewatchability for sure. It's got some rewatchability, but not as much as the first one for me. I
Yeah,
think.
that's fair.
Um, I'm sorry. I'll give the first one a freaking 10 out of 10. I love that movie.
Oh wow.
But the second one, I'd say I'll probably give it a 9. I'll probably give it a 9 as well.
Good.
I really enjoyed it. Had a good time with it both times that I seen it. I recognize that it's not as good as the first one, even if I like them basically about equal.
Mm-hmm.
I know that it's not as good as the first movie, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people that's part of this $1 billion club. Why it's going to make $1 billion because
Yep.
we've seen it multiple times because we just enjoy the Nintendo slop for what the Nintendo slop is, and we don't care because it's looking at Mario characters on the big screen is fun.
Nice. Cool. All right,
Right.
everyone. Well, you
Before
first.
okay, before you go, I do need to respond to a couple of people in your chat to give my rebuttals to a couple of arguments, because
because we got Retro Lad here and said who said like, oh, it's for kids. Mainly kids don't care about plot. Honestly, that is a horrible reason because like you're implying that a movie like the Spider-Verse movies, for example, those movies are definitely for kids, and yet they're still incredibly successful,
They're
having
so
incredibly
good.
compelling
Oh
stories
yeah,
and
no, I hear
animation
you on that.
and writing, or like freaking Studio Ghibli's almost
Yep.
entire
Yep.
catalog.
I think
Puss in
I
Boots: The
think when he
Last
means
Wish.
kids though, I think he means
Yeah.
maybe like under the age of like
10.
7 or 6, I think. Really,
Yeah.
because I feel like 7 upwards,
I'm-
they would understand the plot. They will be starting to understand plots and things like that. So
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
It's just that the
But
message is
I
implying
get
that
it. Yeah,
children aren't
children.
Yeah.
deserving of like good
No, of
media.
course, I hear that too. I hear
And,
I
that.
mean,
and then but did y'all catch the Master Chief reference? Shut up,
oh my
Wilson.
god.
And also like Minecraft movie had a great story. Honestly, I think Minecraft and Mario Galaxy. I think both of those movies are just as bad as each other. And at least
Really?
the Minecraft movie,
Huh.
yeah, and at least the Minecraft movie, it had the funny Jack Black lines.
I feel like Jack Black 2 times in a row made those like movies because it's like have y'all like seen like all the like game stuff he's like done or like when he used to like do Jablinski games or whatever, like he like
Oh, Jablinski Games was phenomenal.
you can tell like the passion he has for the thing. I feel like, well, maybe not in this one, but definitely in the first Mario movie, I feel like he stole the show. Probably like
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
he was so
Yeah.
good. Oh my god.
Mhm.
Man, I
Um,
feel like him and Jim Carrey like really
Yeah,
stole the show in the Mario and
exactly.
the Sonic movies. Like
Yeah,
they really
100%.
Yeah.
and I thought because I was like I said, Jim Carrey is definitely one of my favorite top 5 favorite actors. But I thought Dr. Eggman, I thought let me just see.
It
'Cause he
fits
is a good actor,
perfect.
but he did it.
Yeah.
Even the slim, I mean slim as a slim version. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
all right,
it's crazy.
fair enough. Like,
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
I think it goes to. I think it says a lot for a guy that hates sequels that he keeps coming back to do those Sonic movies.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think it just brings out the joy in him.
It's
You
more
can
than
tell he's
money.
happy doing
It
it.
has to be.
You know what I mean? And the money as
Well,
well
he said
too,
as long
so-
as the script is good, he'll come out of retirement to play the
Exactly. Look what
character.
happened to Sonic
you
2
know?
and 3. They
Yeah.
were great scripts, great movies. Hey.
So Meanwalk is saying that they've seen the movie 6 times. Nuts.
Crazy.
No,
I
that's
don't know
fair,
how you can
man.
afford
I'm glad
that,
people are
man.
enjoying
That's
it.
crazy.
As much as I think it's average, or you know, I think it's good. I'm love people that
Good for you.
are enjoying this. Like, it's good to see that, man. You know.
Nice.
I mean, for my money, I'm just gonna say go watch Project Hail Mary instead.
No, okay. So
hear
I will
that's-
say,
I hear that's the way better space movie.
oh my god, my girlfriend and I also saw the movie. We almost cried, man. Like we didn't read. I don't know. I forget if she read the book or not, but like I didn't read it. I like it was like Marty Supreme. Because for those who don't know, like that's part of the inspiration of the Dreams of the Generation arc for the channel. Is this like the dream big motto and like the rising to the top. But anyway, the point is just like both movies. It's like I saw the trailer for it. I'm like I want to see this. This seems cool. I didn't really know much about it, and like I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. So yeah, no, definitely, the Galaxy movie is great, but like I agree with Matt. You should check that out. But anyways,
I do think 1 second. I do think that it's really cool how despite whether you like or hate it, the fact that we're at least getting accurate video game adaptations nowadays, and so
Yes.
many of them is
Yep.
really awesome. Like we got Mortal Kombat 2 coming out next month, and by the
Oh,
trailers, it looks amazing. I
I
already
need
got
to
my
see it
tickets because they're
still.
gonna have
Oh my god.
because they're also gonna have popcorn buckets and cups, just like Mario Galaxy. So I gotta go as soon as possible. So that movie looks awesome. I can't say if Street Fighter is gonna be good or not. I feel like it might not be. It's gonna be very hit or miss. But again, I don't know how accurate it's going to be. Maybe there'll be some fun to it,
Mhm.
but at the very least, they're God of War picture. It's debatable, but at least it looks accurate. Last of Us apparently is pretty good. I watched a little bit of it, not a lot. So, but like we're getting more accurate video game adaptations nowadays than we did 10+ years ago
It's
when everything was
crazy.
just like bad, straight bad. And I think it's what's taking over more nowadays when it comes to movie theaters, other than like the Marvel universe or whatever that people have
Yeah.
kind of gotten tiresome of. I think video game adaptations are kind of starting to like the Sonic trilogy, man. Like these movies make more money every time a new one comes out. Every single time.
Yeah.
And
honestly.
Sonic 4 is not going to change that at all.
No.
So it's awesome. It's awesome. So,
Yeah, but
I mean, on that note, this is the last thing I'll say, and then we can like finally wrap up. When we're talking about accurate movie adaptations, I mean, I'm just gonna be so real. When I think back to like the 1993 version of the Mario movie, like I think about that movie, and I'm just like, yeah, this is awful. Yeah, this is not an accurate adaptation of Mario at all. But at the same, well, okay. I mean, that movie is like objectively worse than the Galaxy movie. But at the very least, there's interesting stuff going on. It's
Hilarious.
entertaining for like the wrong reasons. And
Yeah.
I'd rather watch a movie that's so bad it's good than something that just bored me to death.
Right. So,
So, there's that.
anyways, okay. Holy crap! I'd love to keep talking. This was a blast. Also, I wanted to keep this a surprise. I may have bought an Assault because I didn't realize how quickly the price was going up, and I'm like, I gotta get. I know I have a problem, but you know what?
You'll
But-
enjoy it.
Perfect
Star Fox,
opportunity to
Star
put
Fox
it on
Assault is my
NSO.
favorite. It's my favorite game.
I'm so you know
Yeah, it's also
that
fun
would.
for me as well.
It's funny. It's like you would think would be on NSO by now. Like you got Pokemon XD, Wario World, Fire Emblem, but no friggin' like Star Fox. Is Mario Sunshine not on NSO yet?
No.
It's not.
Not yet.
And yet the sound effects are when you like boot up the GameCube.
Oh my
controller.
god. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't get Nintendo, man.
That's
Like
part of-
I love
That's
them,
part of
but
my next video. Actually, it's about that.
Ooh.
I talk about that. In
so
the next
speaking
video
of
that I got
which,
coming, but
you know, it's good to be back, fellas. My PAX vlog should be up probably tomorrow. But with that said, check out everyone's links, channel links in the description. Chris Forth, Demon Gaming, Matthew Smart, and Ten of Memories, all amazing channels. Support them. Tell them I said hi, that I sent you. So with that said, have a great night, everyone, and remember, your life is your own.
Take it easy,
Take
y'all.
care, everyone.
Remember, my opinion is correct. So.
Okay. So, holy shit.
See you guys. Unless you're leaving out.